This year we had a Hanukkah miracle, because in the 2023 Game Awards, Capcom revealed Monster Hunter Wilds. And to celebrate, I decided to do the most logical thing. Compare an action RPG hunting simulator with a racing party game for children. Who's to say Yoshi isn't confirmed for MH Wilds? Paris Promenade's charming yet simple design and gameplay is reminiscent of an Agnes song. Both have some cool design features and interesting aesthetics. But it's clear that both of these were created pretty early on, and thus don't give off as much of a lasting impact as the other entries from their games. Tokyo Blur is like Aurora Somnicant. Wasted potential. Just like how I was disappointed at Aurora Somnicant for taking the route of becoming a generic ice monster rather than a unique sleep-ice hybrid, I am disappointed in Tokyo Blur for being a generic road level. Like, doesn't Nintendo have a studio in Tokyo? Imagine how cool it would have been if you could drive through a Nintendo building, then take a glider which allows you to land and drive through one of the Capcom locations, and then finally you arrive at Sega headquarters and drive around it. New York Minute is similar to Volcano. Cool in their own right, but mostly just the beta version of something much better. Sydney Sprint is a Zenogre. How's the gameplay? You know, pretty good. Above average. It has some nice turns and jumps. But dad's music though. London Loop is slow and unremarkable, with very few actual mechanics to engage me. So basically a Jaggrass. Berlin Byways is like a Great Izuchi, in that they both have one thing that I find actually pretty cool. Great Izuchi is the only monster in Rise to actually fight you with coordinated pack hunting tactics. Most other bird wyverns just have their posse off to the side of being as useless as Palicos in Rise. It's Palamutes or bust! But Great Izuchi actually incorporates its minions into its moveset, which is really neat. Then for Berlin Byways, it is the only course in the entire game to actually have Womps in it, which might sound small, but I really like these guys and wish we could see more of them. Everything else about these two kind of sucks though. Amsterdam Drift is like Legicris, because both work best underwater. And Bangkok Rush and Singapore Speedway both resemble a Lucent Nargacuga, in that most of the people who hadn't fought them or played the levels in previous games didn't have much expectations going in, but came out feeling like they were a really worthwhile addition, and hope they'll return in the future. Athens Dash is an Eruzerion, where both teams said, frick realism, frick everything, let's just make the coolest thing we can imagine, and partially succeeded. The way I feel about Los Angeles Laps is the same way I feel about Volvidion. A slight amount of admiration for how both of them completely embrace how shitty they are, being the only compliment I can give them. I don't care that they might have some slightly interesting mechanics, I can't compliment them further. It's about the principle. Finally, Rome Avanti and Madrid Drive are like Antonym. Pretty fun, but we got them in the very last wave of Mario Kart DLC. This would have been like if Capcom thought about adding a subspecies of Gossarag for Monster Hunter Wilds' last title update, but then settled on an Antonym because their mobile team liked it and gave them a lot of money. That was my explanation of every Mario Kart Booster Course Pass Tour City track using Monster Hunter. If I time this video correctly, it should come out on New Year's Eve. So my New Year's resolution is to make videos that are less cringe. Oh, and Vancouver Velocity is like a great baggie, because I completely forgot about its existence.